together, we could find our way back again. We could find our way home as soon as we are telling the truth again. We could find our way home. We could find our way home. We could find our way. We could find our way. We could find our way. We could find our way.
All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I see Twist and Shy here. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a good Tuesday. I'm very excited to be streaming today, guys. Hopefully, we can find ourselves a Drifloon. We've been going for this thing for what, like 3 weeks now? Something crazy. Or 3,000 encounters in, which on its own, no matter how long it took to get here, is insanity. We should have found this Drifloon like 2,000 encounters ago. This has been one of my least lucky hunts, to be completely real. Does the stream end when I get it? It depends on when I get it. Usually what ends up happening is if we find it early, I have other things planned. Different hunts in different games and stuff like that. So, if we find Drifloon in like the first like 2 hours, usually I do that. But if we find it like with like 15 minutes left, then I don't really find there to be a reason to like keep going with the stream. Usually I just kind of like find a channel to raid, pass on, and then like try to pass the viewers on to another shiny hunter. Really just comes down to how long will it take me to set new stuff up. If I'm going to spend longer setting stuff up than I have to stream the hunt, then I just kind of call it for the night. It also depends on if I'm tired. If I'm like really, really tired one night, I tend to just be like, we found it, woohoo, and then I like find a link. Rose Girl, what's going on? Welcome. Ha, bad luck. The worst luck. This is like the least lucky I've been in Sword and Shield. J isn't the other letter with the little bump? What? I'm confused. Can I get whatever the opposite of an F is in chat? Finally got drowsy. I see. So that's what it's the opposite of. Okay. An opposite of an F is a J. But congrats on getting the shiny drowsy. That's awesome. Alan, what's going on, man? Welcome. How are you doing today? Hope you've been having a good day. Hope it's not too late over there for you. So I know the stream's later now. I don't know if you've had like a time change happen or anything as well, but it did move a little later. I know for you. LAN, what about LANs? We having a LAN party? Diamond or Pearl? I'm getting both. My first playthrough will be in Diamond. I think that'll kind of be the game I call the main game. I have my pre-order in for both. I actually tried going by GameStop today. After everyone talked about, after everyone kind of talked about seeing OLED switches pretty readily in stock, I went in and my GameStop did not. The GameStop by me did not. I walked in as a nope. He said like it's just sporadic when they get them, so gonna be trying to find them. 1 a.m. not a big deal. You're off tomorrow. Hey, that's awesome. A good relaxing day. Always nice. LAN play, 8-player double dash. That'd be super fun. What happens if you accidentally kill the shiny when trying to get it? I get very sad. We hope that doesn't happen, is the real answer. Yeah, no, that's just, it's very unfortunate. I try to set things up so that that's very unlikely to happen. Like, for instance, with Drifloon, it knows Explosion, so it can knock itself out. That's why we have Quagsire specifically as our Pokemon in the front of the party, because it has the ability Damp, which basically just, like, stops stuff like Explosion from working. So when, like, Drifloon goes to try to explode, Damp stops it from happening. This is, it failed, and so Drifloon doesn't, knock itself out. I believe it still has a chance of knowing Memento, which is a stressor, but we're just gonna be chucking Pokeballs at it and hoping it doesn't freak out and KO itself. I was gonna stay up till like 10:30 to try and get it if you hadn't gotten it today, but no need. All that's left to finish evolutions and beat the game. That's awesome. I'm so glad you got that, Rose Girl. Legit can't wait for Monday. What's going on Monday? Listen, man, I'm excited. I am excited for next Friday. We're 10 days away. We can count it on our fingers now. We're 10 days away from the release of BDSP, so that's gonna be a really fun time. The more I think about it, or the more that I kind of go, wow, that's awesome, the more I also kind of think I have a lot of like layout things to do. Getting your early copy? What? How do you get an early copy, Alan? I am jealous. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. There's a lot of stuff I have to do layout wise. I was working on some like kind of work related stuff last night, but I think pretty much every night between now and like next Wednesday, I'm gonna be dedicating a significant chunk of my time to to figuring out the tweaks I want to make to the layout. Be it if I make a whole new layout, given I'm gonna be doing a playthrough-esque thing. Or do I like, what am I going to do layout wise for that? I'm not sure. I think at the very least we're going to fix this layout up. And we'll see what we do from there. What's your opinion on Pokemon adding the new evolutions, example Mega Evolutions, Gigantamax? Mega Evolutions are pretty cool. I don't particularly use them a lot because I don't play competitive, so they don't matter a whole heck of a lot to me. The community as a whole really enjoys Mega Evolutions and really wants them back. Gigantamax / Dynamax stuff is just kind of memed on because it's like we used to have Mega Evolutions that change typings and change stats, and now Pokemon just get big. And it doesn't feel, as much as they talk about there being a strategy to it, a la Too Soon Jr. from Fast and Furious kind of moment of like, oh, you gotta time it right. That's debatable. Yeah, so like Gigantamax not nearly as exciting as Megas were, because Megas actually had like new designs. Gigantamax has a couple, but it was nowhere near as like pervasive as Mega Evolutions were. Yeah, and then as far as like actual just like new evolutions, Pokemon getting new forms and stuff, I think it makes sense. It works. It keeps the Pokedex from expanding anymore for more Pokemon that just feel kind of like duplicate. Like they'd feel like more Pokemon that would feel like duplicates of existing Pokemon, so may as well just tweak existing designs. All thanks to your girlfriend. Man, I'm jealous. How the heck do you have access to early copies, man? Granted, it's not like I could really use them, right? Like, as soon as you use that thing, like, if I use it on YouTube, I'd be gone. Right? But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for Friday when all of us plebeians get it. You know, Alan here is getting it early. Pokemon royalty. Man, if you do get it, if you do end up actually getting it on Monday, I want to know what the Pokedex situation is. I want to know how many are available and what are the exclusives, so I can kind of like work around that for my like planning. I'm assuming that's kind of already out there. I know like a whole lot of leaks have already been kind of happening. So I'm just pulling my hair out of my face. Wanted to play through the Pokemon X again, but your younger brother broke your old 3DS. Oof. SOL. Rip. Heads up twist. I try to just keep profanity out of chat. Just as a heads up, I know you don't mean anything by it, but I try to keep my chat E-rated since it is an E-rated game, you know. But yeah, rip man on that. I feel that because that was my situation with my DS, like my DS Lite. Yeah, so you're all good, man. You're all good. But yeah, my situation with my DS Lite was the same kind of deal, right? Where like my sister borrowed it and it got broken, and it's like I couldn't go back and play Pearl or anything again until like I got my 3DS, and at that point I played the newer games. Well, tell me. I appreciate it, Alan. I appreciate it. Yo, what's going on, MT? Rated E. E for Enigma. So whatever I do counts as rated E, so throw all the rules out the window. I do what I want now. No one can ban me. Try to catch as many different Pokemon dupes for me too. I appreciate the offer. I am gonna be trying to complete that dex on my own. That's kind of like part of my personal goal is like I'm gonna be playing so much of that game from Friday through at least Monday. Those are the days I'm gonna be taking off work, is Friday and Monday, to like get a lot of time to play it. So we can beat the game and try to get as much of the dex done as possible before really diving into shiny hunting. So that's my plan. As it stands, that is my plan. Ideally beat both Diamond and Pearl in that time span. And be working on getting a version exclusive. I would like to by Monday have like 70% of the decks complete, with a lot of what's left being evolutions. I think this sucks is when your old DS broke, you can still play your old games because it was backwards compatible, but now I can't play any of your old Pokemon games. Yeah, I mean you can try to find like a 2DS or like just any like 3DS family system online somewhere for sale, but now that they're discontinued, they're kind of expensive. Don't know about these new Pokemon games. I think you'll wait off before you think about buying them. That's fair. That's totally fair. I know, especially given Sword and Shield's reception by the community, I totally understand people being hesitant to go in, especially when it's a new company. Have all the shinies you want for competitive and legendary, so no. I understand that. I totally get that, MT. Like if you have what you want, then yeah. I don't see a reason to necessarily spend the money. Unless you just want to play through Sinnoh. You know? Like for me, the goal is I kind of want to get like a complete living shiny dex in every game simultaneously. Maybe not every game, but every like set of games, every generation at least. So, you know, to me, like even if I have, you know, we're gonna have a shiny Drifloon again, which I hope to God doesn't take this long in BDSP, like this far over odds. But you know, like I'll go for Drifloon and Drifblim again. There, despite already having a Drifloon in Go and having Drifloon and Drifblim in Gen 7. Like, I have them there. I'm going to get it here. I'm going to get it in BDSP. You know, for me, it's like, it's a duplicate, but it's like in a different game. And I kind of like, I don't trade a lot between my games, if you guys haven't noticed. Hey, Goldie, what's going on? Welcome. Sword and Shield made so many shinies available, and Pokemon made it way too easy. That's fair. That's kind of part of why I, like, set that rule for myself. Like they kind of just stay in their grouping of games, just because that way it's like I can say like none of the Pokemon that are here are from Go, you know, or something like that. I think Go I think gets away with it a little bit more than some other games as far as like its odds being 1 in 250 instead of several thousand, just given that you don't encounter Pokemon nearly as fast. Like there's almost no way without spending a ridiculous amount of money to encounter as many Drifloon in 3 hours in Pokemon Go during like Halloween, even as I can encounter, you know, Drifloon running around in a circle here in Sword and Shield. Not shiny hit, but for Dex. If you need any help, just DM me on Discord. Will we reset for the starter? I might reset at some point. At first, what I'm going to do, my plan is since Brilliant Diamond is going to be the game I'm doing my main playthrough on, I'm choosing Piplup there. We're going to use Piplup as our main Pokemon. We're just going to take it, run with it, no soft resetting. Then Shining Pearl, I'm gonna make a save that I collect a Chimchar, and I will trade that over to Brilliant Diamond, and then I will reset that save and do my Shining Pearl playthrough with Turtwig. And then since you can just use different profiles, let's have a second profile for one of the games, or for doing the shiny hunting or shiny starter resets, because I think it'd be fun to do resets for those. Excuse me, assuming it doesn't have any kind of ridiculous cutscene. If they go with the platinum method of soft resetting, cool. If they go with the Diamond and Pearl initial openings like scenes, I don't know if it's worth it to do a soft reset hunt. We still have that Rowlet that I haven't finished that's kind of a brutal hunt in that regard as far as like starter soft resetting. Jesse, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How y'all doing? Doing well. Hope you're doing well, Jesse. Good to see ya. If you don't get Drifloon by Friday, you'll have to continue the run on Friday. I mean, yeah, potentially, if I don't find it Friday, we can go long. We'll see about that. I might try doing a Saturday or Sunday stream to kind of wrap it up. Yeah. Nah, I would really like to find Drifloon. I'd really like to find a couple other shinies between now and BDSP coming out. Just to kind of, like, do some stuff, right? Like, to have something. Have some success in like the 19 days between Halloween when we found Pumpkaboo and BDSP coming out. Like I don't want to end, like I don't want to go into BDSP with like a ridiculously over odds hunt unfinished. It's kind of where I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm going to stream on the 18th or not, just because I might take that time, take a long nap in the evening instead, then wake up, go pick up my games, and then come back and stream. That's a potential like possibility for what I'll end up doing. So in that case, you know, I want to do that, but if Drifloon takes until then for some reason, we're like almost 10,000 encounters, which I would just like hate every minute of. I'm not gonna lie, going that far over odds is no fun. We would stream on the 18th, hopefully until we found Drifloon. Then I would immediately go, I'm ending. I'll see you guys in a few hours for BDSP games. You can put up to 20 characters into the keypad. There are 23 characters in total, and you can repeat characters. Also, the only thing you get is 4 random numbers. Oh, is this for that Roblox thing? Oof. Love doing the shiny hunts from old games like Crystal. I need to do some more of those on stream. Like, we've got Jirachi going in Ruby, but I want to do some more Emerald hunting because that can be fun. I've got Leaf Green, which we have the shiny Charmander in, that I want to do some more stuff. There's a lot of things that I would really, really like to do. But right now my priority is trying to tie up a few loose ends before going into BDSP. You know, like, I've got this Drifloon hunt, I've got the Dratini hunt, we've got Terrakion, I believe we've got Grookey. Yeah, we've got a good number of hunts that I would like to be able to say or like complete before BDSP comes out, and when we jump right into that. So I would like to tie all those up and kind of be able to say, oh, woohoo! Here's like you know, all of our shinies we found in the days leading up to BDSP, and then on the 19th just run with it, you know. No one knows what order the numbers need to go in. Oof. Is it possible to get a shiny starter? In most games, yes. In some games, like Sword and Shield, only in certain ways. So, pretty much, so really, Sword and Shield are the only games that are like this outside of, like, Let's Go being kind of funky in the way that happens, because you just kind of get... So, Let's Go, you can at all, as far as your starter being either Pikachu or Eevee, depending on the game you buy. That Pikachu or that Eevee is very special and specific to many different functions of the game, so it can't be shiny. They prevent that from happening. If you go back in terms of games, Sun and Moon, yeah, you can both soft reset and breed for the shinies. And that's the case all the way back through the games, all the way to Gen 2 when shinies were added. Technically, it can happen in Gen 1, but you don't know until you trade it over, kind of thing. So it kind of technically doesn't. It technically does, but it also really doesn't have shinies, but that's just because it just doesn't as a whole. Sword and Shield, you cannot soft reset for your starter. Like, your starter you pick at the start of the game cannot be shiny. It is shiny locked. No one knows why they made that decision, but they did. But you can take that starter, go to the nursery, get a Ditto, and breed for eggs, and you can get a shiny out of those. That's totally possible. So every game you've been able to get shinies of the starter in. It's just Sword and Shield didn't let you soft reset for it. Rocking the V-cut shirt, by the way. Thank you very much. Read your last C-Trats? Yeah, like you're trying to figure out the code for that. I guess the community will figure that out, Goldie. I hope so. Drifloon, can you turn yellow already? I really hope it would. I really wish it would. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Justin, welcome as well. How are you doing? You found a potato. Noise. And thank you to whoever just Twitch followed. I forget that alert, please, and it startles me every time. Yeah, you can follow on Twitch. I don't stream over there very often, but if you want to follow, you can freak me out by making that noise play. Ian is the king of overodds. I know, and I am not a fan. What is soft reset? So it's a term that doesn't super apply to. That doesn't really super apply to Sword and Shield because it doesn't. The button combination isn't there, but. For example, let's see if I have... Okay, I have battery on this. I can open this up. Okay, so... Basically, it's a way of, like, restarting your game without having to, like, power off the console. So that's just kind of the term people use. Instead of being a hard reset of power off, power on. Like, basically... So, here we've got Pokemon Ruby loading up on the Game Boy. Let's say I go in here and I want to, you know... I want to go out somewhere, but like, yeah, I want to go up here, and I want to see if this Pokemon in the grass, usually you would save right before you go into the grass, so you would save like right before you collect your starter. You go in, you do that, and it's like, this isn't gonna, is this a shiny? And then like, you know, it's not a shiny. You go, okay, so you can hit a combination of buttons. I believe it's A, B, start, select on this. If I hit these buttons, the game restarted without me turning off the console. So that's what a soft reset is. And so you use that with like static encounter hunts, so you can save, be it like starters or legendaries. You save right in front of it, like right before you start the encounter. You save, you do the encounter. If it's not shiny, you hit that button combination and it soft resets. And basically the game boots up at your last save point. So it's a way to... It's a way to do hunts where you only have like one of the Pokemon to encounter. Didn't give any hints whatsoever. Hey, this got added to the challenge. In Gen 12, all Pokemon are shiny locked. Everything's got to be done with an event at a GameStop, but you got to spend $20 before you get the codes. Last time they streamed, teamed up with another Roblox YouTuber and telling them to stop and threaten them with copyrighted music. It's like, I'm gonna play that over Discord. For it on an escalator, man. The Furret Walk videos, the Furret Walk live streams that were all like streaming Furret Walks until like Sinnoh remakes are announced or something, and Furret was able to stop walking in February. Also, thank you guys to everyone who's left a like on the stream so far. I really appreciate it. It helps out a tremendous amount. So if you haven't left a like on the stream, I would greatly appreciate it if you did so. As well as if you know other people who'd be interested in this kind of stream, let them know about it. Would love to have them here. What's my favorite generation? Gen 3. The nostalgia of it. It was the first one I played. It's one I went back to a ton as a kid. And even like when I first started getting back into Pokemon, like late high school, it was with like a Fire Red save on an emulator, which was a ton of fun. Yeah, so favorite gen's Gen 3. Favorite region is Hoenn, but my favorite game is Sun. Just because Sun is really what like catapulted me into loving like shiny hunting and playing a ton of Pokemon just beyond playing the story of the games. Like that was really the first game that I truly dove into Pokemon, more so than just kind of casually trying to complete the decks. So yeah, like I have like I estimate I have like 2,000 hours in my copy of Pokemon Sun. I don't know for sure because the playtime's spread over several different DSs. Some of them non-functional anymore. I wore them out. And the Pokemon save timer ends at 1,000 hours. It ends at 99959 and won't count beyond that. So who knows how many hours I've actually put in. It's over 1,000 though. If no shiny, then shiny Drifloon t-shirt merch. If no shiny, yeah, then we're just gonna like cut a Drifloon shape out of the middle of it. Do you have an emulator you would recommend? So back in the day, I used GBA for iOS. I think that turned into Delta, and I don't think it has the same visuals anymore. That was really good for Game Boy games, or for GBA games. I think it also did normal Game Boy games. Again, this is like 2014, 2015 that I did this. As far as nowadays, I don't really know what are good phone emulators. I know Citra technically works on phones. I know it works on computers. Because I know, like you said, you like have the games for 3DS, but you don't have like a 3DS to play them on. Citra works surprisingly well in that regard. But yeah, so I don't really have a lot of recommendations as far as like original DS emulators or any of the modern Game Boy emulators. BizHawk's always nice as a general emulator, but I think it can sometimes require a little more tuning. Doing a Pokemon Black randomizer, Bianca had a Mewtwo and it beat you up. Oh no! That's a little unbalanced for a battle with Bianca. More for PC. BizHawk, I believe is what it is the one I used to use for a lot of like SNES stuff. I believe it has Game Boy emulation capabilities. That one's always good. Desume, I think is what it's called, is a decent DS one. Citra's like the one really well-known 3DS emulator. So that one's always an option. I think there are a lot of people who would actually stream through Citra for a while, when you know, like getting like a 3DS capture card like I have, over here. Like that 3DS is specifically built as a capture card, or modified to be a capture card, but like those are a bit pricey, so like a lot of people just use the emulators if they wanted to stream 3DS stuff. So those are a lot more popular then, but now that like the Switch is HDMI, it's easy enough just to use legit hardware and a capture card. A yellow blown up balloon. I remember the pink Rhyhorn from the anime and thought it was possible to get in Pokemon Gold, only to find out it doesn't exist. It's so weird how the anime can just have like different colorings like that, and like it's just like waved off, right? Like, I guess like Gold and Silver was still kind of an era where maybe that like QC wasn't really happening on that level with the games, which is kind of like, or with the anime and stuff, or something. Whatever, it's close enough, it looks okay, and they just kind of ran with it. I feel like that wouldn't fly at all nowadays. Like, it would have to like match, right? It was a Purloin versus Bianca. You only had a Glaciate. You only have Glaciate and Revenge, and now you lost the other person's Luxray. No. DS and 3DS. I don't think Citra does the backwards compatibility, so you might need Desume for that. But Citra is the 3DS emulator. Stone Family 64, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Never had a Game Boy, so all your nostalgias with Gen 4. No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I know, like, it really was my age that just, like, hit right on, like, Gen 3. A few of my friends, had older siblings, so they played Crystal before they played Gen 3. And a few of my friends just didn't get gaming systems until later and mostly played Gen 4. But yeah, like Gen 3 is like solidly at my age group as far as I was, 6 or 7 when it came out. Like the prime age to be getting into Pokemon for the first time. So yeah, anyone a little younger, I can totally see that. Yeah, and if you don't have a GBA, like yeah, why would you do that when you could just go with like DS stuff? Yeah, Desume for the Nintendo DS, yeah. Cool, glad to see Yokai is like backing up my statements. You want to randomize your stuff? Use Universal Pokemon Randomizer. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty nifty little piece of software if that's what you're into. But I mean, I feel like Twist, you're probably just into like replaying them, and in that sense, yeah, just those emulators would work. And randomizing is just kind of an option for if like you really want to mix things up. Parents refuse to let you play video games until you turn 9. Yeah, I can see how that would push you past GBA. Yeah, I think I got my GBA SP when I was 6, I think 6 or 7, and I had like Mario Pinball for it, and it took like a few years until I got Pokemon for it. So like I got in at the end of Gen 3, but I got in during Gen 3. And yeah, I put a good amount of time into that without fully understanding the mechanics. Not understanding type effectiveness or any of that kind of silly stuff. Since Pokemon has always 2 or 3 different versions of the games, doesn't that reinforce the whole different timeline theory? I guess. I feel like the more concrete evidence is like Oras versus Ruby and Sapphire having megas and one not. But I feel like that follows pretty well in line with that as far as like, yeah, why is it in one region? Like, why is it in one game, they're trying to awaken Dialga versus they're trying to awaken Palkia? I don't actually remember the Sinnoh story and if that really is how it happens, but like, going back to games I'm way more familiar with, why is it that Hoenn has Team Aqua in one situation and Magma in another? Like that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty easy to chalk up to just like different timelines, right? For on an escalator, because it's a live stream, are they doing they're doing their like for it on the escalator until BDSP come out? With that remix, that's like such a little upbeat like Fur It Walk remix. I love that. I love that little song. Roblox voice chat be like, "Hey, where are you going?" Microphone emoji shows but can't hear anything because you don't have voice chat. Oof. Yeah, I always tend to turn voice chat off in games I play. Like if I want to talk to someone on a game, I'm on Discord with them already. What did you say? I don't have voice chat, microphone emoji shows, and he walks away. We're playing, you played Pearl a lot and begged your mom to get you platinum only, but she said no because I heard that it was just a re-release. Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, if you know what's up, you're like, no, but there's legitimately more stuff to it. But then it's like, then why'd you get this one if this one's better? And it's like, I mean, it makes sense either way. It's easy to see both sides, right? Like, looking at it, like, if you don't understand it and you see that it's literally it's the same game but made 2 years later, it's like, why would you buy this? But you're playing, it's like, but they've changed so much, especially Platinum. Platinum is one of the most like changed games. I feel like I've seen a lot of people already complaining that like, what do you mean? Like I've seen a lot of people already upset that like BDSP is based off Diamond and Pearl and not like built largely off Platinum, and it's like, they never said it was built off Platinum. They explicitly stated they were faithful remakes of like Diamond and Pearl. Like, but I know a lot of people were upset by that or disappointed by that just because of how much of a genuine improvement Platinum was over Diamond and Pearl. So it's like, I get that. To an extent, I get that. But I don't really think it's something that should have been nearly as big of a deal as it ended up being made into. Not been told to mic up, thankfully. Can't even get voice chat because you don't have a student ID or anything. Because you're homeschooled, you need ID verification for voice chat, and you need to be 13 plus. Interesting. Very interesting that's how that one works. I think Arceus will be a game code card for the new games. Or might be. Just like a go to GameStop, get the card kind of deal. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a little bit lame. I would like for there to be some amount of like Arceus storyline in the same way we got a Delta episode, but I don't know if that would happen. I feel like since it is kind of more of a mythical Pokemon, they'll do it that way. They'll just kind of be like, here's a code. But man, I don't know, Gen 4, it's one of those things where despite not having done any of those events, I feel like Gen 4 events were kind of the pinnacle of of like special Pokemon events, right? Because like it was just like the consoles had gotten advanced enough that they could do a bunch of crazy things as far as like special unlockable areas and stuff like that, and other little side quests, without the internet being prevalent enough to just ruin it all. And like when the internet happened, for one, they just moved all their stuff to being mystery gift codes, but two, like all the mysticism and stuff around it kind of got spoiled, and people would have automatically like found it in the game code and everything, and there would be no surprise. I bought your dog a tiny backpack, so you can carry around like his milk bones and stuff. They're saying Platinum saving Platinum re-release to make more money in the future. Calling that now. It's possible. It would be the first time that they've re-released a done a follow-up game to a remake. Usually those kind of get left at just the two games, Fire Red Leaf Green. We didn't get a Yellow remake alongside those. Heart Gold Soul Silver didn't get some kind of Crystal game. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire didn't get Delta Emerald or anything like that. So like there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. I'm not saying it won't happen, but because they always keep us on our toes. None of us expected an open world Sinnoh game to release alongside traditional remakes. So like, you never know what's going on in Game Freak and Pokemon Company's mind. But I wouldn't be overly shocked. I kind of agree on that point. I wouldn't be overly shocked if we like surprise got a platinum of some sort later down the line. Finally, Nintendo's getting ready to stream. Took long enough. Lives in Australia, so he's very ahead. Oh yeah, so he's got to wake up and do the streams then. Is Game Freak still doing Pokemon? Yes. So Game Freak's working on Legends Arceus. This is actually the first time. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl will be the first Pokemon games not done by Game Freak as far as like mainline RPG games. Because obviously there's been stuff like Snap wasn't done by Pokemon directly, or stuff like XD and all that stuff was done by other studios. But this is the first time that an actual like main game in the series is being done by a different company, and that is Ilka, who I guess was kind of involved with the creation of Pokemon Home. So like they aren't like a brand new company to Pokemon, but fairly new. I mean, there'll be more remakes in 15-20 years. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. At that point, what we'd be seeing, if the pattern that we currently have is continuing, at that point, what we would be seeing, like Sun and Moon remakes and stuff like that. But it'd feel weird to wait like 15 years for that. I feel like that would be happening way sooner, but who knows? Pokemon Roblox, yeah, Brick Bronze. People always kept asking me back in like 2017 if I played it. I was like, no, I'd never played it. And then it got shut down, and a whole bunch of people were like, how could they shut it down? And it's like, because it's very blatantly copyright infringement or like trademark infringement. Like, people are making money off of Pokemon without like Pokemon Company's consent. Like, are we shocked? Are we really surprised here? Plus 11 or something from Eastern Time. Got you. Can play the Sun and Moon remake using your neural implant. Yeah. Your specific Nintendo one, right? Like, you gotta have different ones for every console. Still Roblox Pokemon Lumion Legacy exists, Oh, I've heard about that. I've heard a lot about that from some people on stream. But that doesn't technically count, right? Because it's not Pokemon, it's the Lumions. It's a whole different thing. But yeah, I mean, really, like, it makes sense, that those developers put in a lot of effort into building that game engine, and then they like got shut down because obviously like they were using like IP from the Pokemon Company, which the Pokemon Company was not okay with, which is understandable. So yeah, they like the mechanics underneath the game weren't like trademarked or copyrighted, so they could get away with using those. They just had to make their own thing. They had to make their own thing out of it, and they changed it just enough and put in like their own creatures, and off they went. Adopt Me as a gambling game for kids? That's not good. Do you ever play Pokemon Uranium? I downloaded it, played a few minutes of it, and I just never picked it back up again. I don't know why. Like, it was before I played Sun and Moon, so it was before I really got, like, back into Pokemon. I think it exists on some hard drive of mine somewhere, but I don't have immediate access to it. But yeah, I do remember Pokemon Uranium coming out and that being a massive deal. Like, it came out and within, like, a day it was shut down. Refuse to believe we're on the 3,107th Drifloon. You're right, because we're on the 3,111th Drifloon. No, it's insane that we've gotten this far, Jesse. It's so crazy. I did not expect this of all hunts to go to 3,000. I was like, we had bad luck with Duskull. I mean, we'll find this in like the first 1,500. Like, even kind of expecting to go over odds a little. Recently watched a YouTube video about it. Seems pretty cool, but Nintendo shut it down. Yeah, just because, again, Pokemon blatantly in the title, and they go after all the big things. Like, Uranium was immediately popular, and so, like, obviously, there's just certain rules involved in the trademarking process where it's like, when something is that big and popular, they kind of have to shut it down, or acquire it, and they didn't want to acquire it. Pet Simulator X is literally promoting NFTs now against Roblox terms of service. Speedrunning getting his game banned. Reached 1,000 hours of gameplay in Animal Crossing New Horizon. Your island is barely designed good. I forget how many hours I put into Animal Crossing. Wasn't nearly as many as some. I got to the point that like KK would show up, and that was kind of where I ended. Like, I'd go in and I'd do some things here and there on occasion, but I legit haven't played it all since they added the scuba diving. Like, I haven't played since they added that at all. What is NFTs? You're confused? Is it bad? They aren't inherently bad, but they are. It's weird to have it be in like promoted in Roblox of all things. Basically, like the idea of an NFT is that like there's a lot of digital things are super easy to copy, right? Like one of the big things is a digital picture you can just copy and save it. But the idea with an NFT is that like you buy the original, whatever the form of the original is, you technically own it. If like there's a photo up there and they sell an NFT of that photo, it's like basically you have a receipt saying I own this. I own the original. No matter if people, take the picture and tweet it or send it to like a group chat, all those are copies of my original that I own. I think it's really stupid. It's like, it's this weird like abstraction from stuff, and like some people can make a lot of money, but they're making a lot of money because a lot of people are losing money. It's a whole weird market. It's ridiculous in my opinion. But yeah, it's basically like the real world equivalent is like there is like the Mona Lisa, right? Like there's the famous painting, the Mona Lisa. It is almost invaluable. It is so incredibly like rare, or like not rare, obviously there's only one of it, but like so incredibly valuable, like almost priceless, right? Versus the fact that like there are many copies. You can go out and buy a copy of the Mona Lisa, print it out on a poster, and stick it on your wall. That one's worthless, right? Like it's worth the paper and the ink that it was printed on, and that's about it. So like an NFT is basically like the digital equivalent of like owning that original one, So that's what it is. But they're weird, and kind of sketchy in my opinion overall, as far as like, it's one of those things that I think people are trying to make have value, and the ones who are trying to do that and make them have value are the ones trying to sell them, and make money off of them having value. So that's my thoughts on it. Playing Animal Crossing right now. Nice. Yeah, so it's really a weird thing. Basically, it's like trying to own a digital item that can be copied by like right clicking, you know. It's like me saying like, all right, obviously anyone can watch these streams, but there's an original copy of it. I will put the original copy up for sale, and someone can own that and say like, hey, I own that stream. Everyone can still watch it. There's no way to stop anyone from downloading it again. Stop anyone from downloading the video and like having a copy of it themselves, but they don't officially own the real copy. Hey Juan, what's going on, man? Welcome. How are you doing today? Animal Crossing New Horizons has a lot of new content. Yeah, the new DLC just came out, right? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do in Animal Crossing right now that I just haven't done. I gotta plug my phone in. Charge. Okay. Yeah, my phone has my phone battery has gone bad like in this past week and a half or so. It's very unfortunate. It was really unfortunate when I had to travel this past weekend. Because like my phone battery was dying incredibly fast. It really just started like last week. Because I remember I was out all day on out all day last Saturday. Like not like a week from this past Saturday. And I was out all day. It was fine. But like now it's like I've been sitting around the house all day, using it no more than usual, and it's just almost dead. It's crazy. It's just like something switched, and it's just like, nope, I'm gonna die all the time now, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, that happened like so soon before my trip out for the wedding that I didn't have time to replace it, so I was just constantly like, well, I don't have a charger on me at all times, but I definitely want my phone to be on, so like every battery saver mode and like not touching anything and like all that kind of stuff. It's just so much battery saving happening and still like finish the day with 1%. Pokemon Quest, that's what it's called. Oh, what's the Pokemon game where you can use 3 Pokemon and they move like blocks? I totally missed that message, MT. I totally missed that message. Yeah, it was Quest. Pikachu in high heels? Why is Pikachu in high heels? It's just like the fashion of it. Guys, 31-31. This Drifloon's not cooperating with us, unfortunately. I don't know why. I don't know what it has against me, but it clearly has something against me. He's making you doubt my shiny charm. Honestly, I can understand that doubt. It's it's been rough so far. Not gonna lie. Like there's stuff like Pumpkaboo and Spheal that kind of refreshes and like rejuvenates that hope. But then you just go back to Drifloon and it gets sucked away so fast. Rip Ian. Basically, this hunt will be the death of me, I guess. craving pizza. Man, I had pizza last night and the night before. Basically, I ordered a pizza Sunday night and basically had it like Sunday and yesterday. Yeah, when I landed from the flight and got back home, I don't know if anyone else tries to do this when they travel, but I know for me, especially just like living by myself and really only having food for me, I kind of start like buying food in an attempt to plan for my food to run out right before the trip, so I have nothing, sitting in the fridge for however long I'm gone. Either like when I moved or when Mel and I went on a trip over the summer, or when I went out to this wedding. I was like, I'm going to be gone for a few days. I don't want to have a whole bunch of food that can spoil sitting in my fridge. That kind of thing. Unfortunately, it always bites me in the butt when I get back and I have nothing to eat. So I got home and it was like 11. And I was just like, I'm just going to order a pizza and then find food like in the morning. Gotta go. All right, see you later, Justin. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you stopping by. Hope you have a good rest of your night. And a soda from Ian's place. This is the only one. It is half consumed. Also, if I keep yawning on stream, blame Puffin. Blame Puffin for any yawning that happens. He yawned on his stream because someone said it was contagious, and I was there, and it sure was. So you guys think we're gonna hit 4,000, or are we not gonna get that unfortunate? Are we gonna find it before 4,000? I want to see your guys' thoughts on this. Over under on that. 4,000 encounters to find it. Because I don't know, I'm a little bit positive of the positive mindset of we'll find it before 4,000, but I was also of that mindset with 3,000 and with 2,000, so I might not be the best judge of my own luck. I got the exclamation encounter. Come on. Hey, what's going on, Ash? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope you've been having a good day. Been wrong every time, so I guess so. After 4K. All right. So since you're wrong, usually this should make it right. So thank you everyone for getting the stream over 10 likes. I appreciate that. Our usual like goal on every stream is 15, but it'd be awesome if we could get the stream up to 20. I'm positive Ian will have a shiny shirt merch soon. All right, MT. You're doing good. Gonna hunt shiny Squirtle. Best of luck on that, Ash. Best of luck. Hopefully you find it. Hopefully you have better luck than I've had on Drifloon. My luck has been abysmal here. Really been roughing it. 10 like hype? Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Oh, that was rough. That swallow was not happy. Last night, when you get a shiny Charmander, it took you 135 eggs. That's not bad at all. That's awesome. That's well below odds. Congrats on that. What game were you going for today, Nash? Nicknames for Drifloon. Yeah, maybe that's what Drifloon's waiting for, is someone to give it a nickname. They're breeding for it in Ultraman. Okay, cool. Cool. I was wondering what game you were going for it for, but yeah, 131 or 135 eggs is awesome. It's like super lucky. I feel like that's not a number I would usually find stuff in eggs in. I talked about this so much, but I feel like for me, my luck with Masuda hunts is always like either I find it super quick, like in the first like 50, or I don't find it until like 600. Like I never really find anything right on odds, or like really anything anywhere even reasonably close to odds. It's like super lucky or super late. It's like it's either I'm super lucky or I'm over odds. Hindenburg might be too bleak. A little bit, I would say. That's definitely a little bit on the darker side of Pokemon names. Fastest Masuda hunt so far is Pansage and Yusum. Awesome. How many eggs did it take to get a Pansage, Ash? Pansage took 33 eggs. That's incredible. That's awesome. Shiny Pansage is so close to the original, you'd probably miss it completely. I always feel that way with some Pokemon, but I think the only thing that might have genuinely happened to me with is Happiny. As far as it being called in SOS from some other Pokemon. Yeah, I think Happini's the only one I've ever actually genuinely not known and erred on the side of continuing the chain and knocked it out anyways. So there's a chance I found more than one shiny Happiny through SOS. I did find one, which was successful. So I don't know if I might have passed over others. I'm not sure. But I always feel like I'm gonna have issues and then end up like not really having issues at all with most of them. Especially when it comes to Masuda hunting, I feel like once you really get that groove going, you're so used to seeing that very specific color that like when it changes at all, you notice it, I feel. And I know for me as well, one of the big things I do is before I release the Pokemon that I hatched, I just quickly skim over them in the PC and see if any of them have the shiny star on them. You know, even if I know for sure, like if I was doing like a Voltorb or something that was so blatantly obviously shiny, I would still make that check. For the other elemental monkeys, Pansear took 202 eggs and Panpour took you 168 eggs. Hey, that's awesome. You've had some good luck with eggs there, Ash. Congrats, man. You're taking all of my good luck from Masuda hunting. Mitchie, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. With all these Drifloons you've encountered, you can make a house, make the house from up fly, right? Right? How many balloons did he use? Was it over 3,168? Because if not, we definitely got this. I feel like Drifloons as well. Drifloons probably have a little bit more floating power to them than a standard balloon, I would say. If they're, like, able to haul children away, like, I feel like an individual balloon's got some good lift to it. So I definitely think we could probably make a house fly at this point. With, you know, over 3,000 of these guys. I only popped 500 of them, so. We still got a good number of them. Pretty good Masuda luck. It definitely seems like it, man. That's awesome. Congrats on all the lucky shinies. Excuse me, sorry about that. I thought that was going to be a yawn. And then it was suddenly very much not a yawn. Carl used 20,622 balloons. Yeah, I might not have that many. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Drifloons will be quite strong enough then. But I mean, again, like, if one can lift a child... Does a house weigh more than 3,000 children? If the answer is no, then we're able to fly. Yeah, so if we don't find Drifloon tonight, guys, it looks like we'll hit somewhere around 300 or 3,500 encounters, which is ridiculous. But that's kind of what it's looking like, given that we're an hour in and we've done about 180. Hang a yellow balloon behind me. Yeah, just make my own shiny Drifloon to try to, like, summon the yellow balloon right here. Once your PC is full, you send all of your Pokemon into Pokemon Bank, and once Bank is full, you send all of your non-Masuda shiny mons to Pokemon Home. You got a system there for that. Yeah, for me, I have everything in my PC. The only time I've really used Pokemon Bank is for transferring between games when I only have one system that, like, can handle transfers properly. Just because, like, basically my system when I've been doing the Gen 6 Dex completion stuff has been these two DSs. And, like, the new 2DS XL in there works perfectly fine, but the new 3DS XL in that stack, the touchscreen's bad on, and it can't initiate trades on Gen 6 games, which is very unfortunate. So I have to, like... If I want to trade, I have to move whatever cartridge is in that over to the capture card if I need to do trades. Otherwise, I just, like, do I just use, like, Bank for that at that point. If one can lift a child, does a house weigh more than 3,000 children? I mean, it's a legitimate question given the circumstances, I would say. Heck, I would even say. The house could weigh more than 3,000 children as long as it's fairly close. I feel like the Drifloons are putting in a lot of effort to move up really, really quickly. So, like, if they're, like, heavy set children, you know, and they can still carry them away, I feel like you can carry the house away just very slowly. Once Pokemon Home is full, you use the mobile version of Pokemon Home and release all of your unwanted Pokemon. Just, like, batch release them. That's one way to get rid of it. Shadow Wolfman, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hear the news about the starters. I've heard a lot of reports that the starters in BDSP will not be shiny locked. I am very happy. I don't intend to soft reset hunt them immediately. My first course of action in these games is beating the game and completing the decks. I'm not focusing explicitly on shiny hunting for the first few streams. You know, we're taking like I said, we're going for that shiny charm. Our goal overall is shinies, but I think the best use of my time is just powering through the games and getting that charm as quickly as we can. I think at some point a starter hunt will happen through soft reset, assuming that the starter acquisition method or acquisition sequence is more similar to Platinum than Diamond and Pearl. In terms of like being able to save right before collecting the Pokemon and not having to go through all the cutscenes. Just for sanity's sake, I don't know if I would be able to do that if it was the Diamond and Pearl style. We'll see. I'm trying to avoid like specific spoilers about like the game mechanics, or about like the game's story as far as like what it lines up with a little bit more. Granted, it's Sinnoh. We all know what it is. We've all played it, or at least for the most part, we've played it. If we haven't played it, we've heard all about it. So I'm not super worried about spoilers. But the one thing I've said before I really want to know is, I guess, what Pokemon are shiny locked, if there are any. And then on top of that, I really want to know what Pokemon are in what games. Like what constitutes a complete dex, what Pokemon are version exclusives, all that good stuff. Hunting your starter Piplup on Shining Pearl, nice. All your teammates will be shiny. That'll be fun. Best of luck with that. Yeah, I'm going for it full tilt, normal playthrough, just super fast. Legendary Pokemon, we might not be able to shiny hunt. I wouldn't be super shocked. That's just been the trend, right? Like that's kind of sadly not anything special nowadays for that to be the case. 1 second, I'm checking something real quick. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see legendary Pokemon not be huntable, just given the track record of the last few Pokemon games. Like that wouldn't shock me. I honestly was a little bit shocked to see that the starters were huntable, given that they were taking away more and more hunts. So I'm happy to see those kind of come back proper. We'll see. Maybe Ilka's more chill with the idea of shiny hunting. But I'm not holding my breath on that. Here you can hunt the legendaries. Okay, so I guess my question right now is, I know we're close enough to the game being out that retailers probably just have their stock in the back. At least some of them. Is there like a leaked like stream happening or something? Like, did someone like get a copy super early and they're playing it? Is that what's happening, or what's going on right now with that? Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina are shiny locked in those games. The only way we can get them shiny is to hack the game or to transfer the shiny from previous games. That, or wait for them to do an event at some point, because I doubt there's no way that they don't at the very least have an event for them at some point. Also, I feel like it might be time for me to get a new shock mount for my mic. The like actual bungee cord holding it on keeps falling off in various places without me actually like touching it. Earthbound fan, welcome. How are you doing today? Hope all is well. Hope you had a good weekend. You weren't here yesterday, so yeah, I hope you had a good weekend. It's good to see you. Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome if we could hunt the legendaries, but I won't be shocked if it turns out we can't. Is really what like ultimately my feelings on it come down to. Is like, that'd be cool, but if the answer ends up being no, oh well. Right? Like, I feel like we've all just kind of gotten used to not being able to do those hunts, so like, I'm going in with my expectations low. That way, like, if it does end up being the case that like they're not huntable, then like, yeah, I wasn't expecting it. Day's not ruined or anything. But if they are huntable, then that'd be awesome. right? Like that's my feelings on it at this point. Is just like, if they let us do it, cool. That's actually really cool. If not, oh well. In Pokemon ORS, they never released an event for Shiny Groudon or Kyogre. Did they not? I could have sworn there was something at some point. Fine, just continue your Black 2 playthrough. Nice, hope that's going well. Yeah, I could have sworn there was some kind of Shiny Groudon and Kyogre thing, but I guess I might be wrong. I didn't pay attention to Shinies back then, so I very well could have missed it. I guess I'm thinking of all the people who hunted it in USUM and then still just turned them primal. Because I know that was a thing. Oh man, my Pro Controller battery's going low. But I charged it for like a whole 5 minutes before the stream. How could this be? And guys, we're getting so close to our like goal in the stream. If you haven't liked the stream yet, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like. Trying to get over 15 and would really like to get to 20. What prevents you from charging it while you're at work? Nothing. I'm just lazy. I'm just lazy. I mean, literally, it's a USB-C cable. Basically what happened is I sat down before the stream and realized, I need to plug this in, and then I plugged it in because it was like completely dead yesterday. And I just never plugged it in then. Hey, Puffin, what's going on, man? Welcome, welcome. How you doing today? I guess, how'd your stream end up going? I was there for a little bit of it, but then I had to hop off to get this stuff going. Yeah, 3,200. It's insane. I have had the worst luck with some of these wild area Pokemon. My Duskull wasn't this bad, but it was still bad. It was still like 2,600. And guys, if you're in my stream and you don't know who Puffin is, he's another awesome shiny hunting streamer. Definitely go check him out. I'm gonna see if this works right now. Hey, it did! Nice! I started trying to add some little commands to my stream deck to be able to post to automatically post links for people. But yeah, definitely if you guys are in my stream and don't know who Puffin is, go check him out. He's a great streamer. No monkey, but that thing has been going on for forever. Yeah, how many encounters are you up to on that now? I may have realized this. You're 6 times over odds for your hunt. Not quite, Ash. Not quite. That would be the case if we were only encountering the brilliant Pokemon. But since we're encountering all the non-brilliants too, those still have like the odds of 1 in 1365. So our odds really come out kind of closer to, I would say, like, what, 1 in like 1,000 or so. $2,800, but you've been dueling it for a while. Yeah. Yo, Bigfootless, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Count by 2 these days because you see 2. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Same way, you know, you kind of count by like 5 if you do hordes. Yeah, I don't know what's up with my odds in the wild area, but it's been brutal. We've got the 500 KOs, we've got the shiny charm. This really shouldn't be going as long as it is, but here we are. At this point, I'm worried that this Drifloon's going to take us all the way to BDSP coming out, and I'll just have this ridiculously over-odds hunt looming over my head while I start a new game. I want to finish this before that starts. I've got several hunts that I kind of was hoping to finish in the first half of November. Like, my plan, Drifloon was one of our Halloween hunts. It was supposed to just be one of our Halloween hunts, but then it ended up taking us until past now. So yeah, we've got a, excuse me, but yeah, we've got I want to finish this. I want to finish Ratini. I want to finish Grookey, and I would like to finish Terrakion, if not also Virizion, before BDSP comes out. And I felt like that was a pretty reasonable thing as far as an ask if I'm streaming, like 12 plus hours a week in the lead up. That's basically 24 hours of hunting, with a lot of those hunts being pretty decent odds. We could at least get most of those knocked out. But instead, we're sitting here doing this for like the 15th time or something. Drifloon New Year's stream. Yeah, at this point, right, we're gonna do all of our BDSP hunting, and then we're gonna go to Legends Arceus, and then once that finishes, it's like, all right, guys, now it's time to get back to the real deal. Let's get into Drifloon again. I'm gonna jinx it. So all of your KO hunts have pretty much been over odds. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the odds are still just so messed up, man. I know we've talked about before how like it's just seems like things were broken when like the odds are being like coded into the game. So it's like, yeah, I feel like that could I feel like they're still pretty busted. Shinx, Tangela, Wooloo, everything pretty much. Yeah, I think Wooloo might have been under odds from me. And then from there I went into Dynamax, which I had decent luck in Dynamax. It averaged out pretty much right on odds, which I feel like was uncommon. I feel like most people have gone more over odds than anything. I got lucky with Regidrago, admittedly, finding it in that like 1600. And my luck with the wild area has either been really good or mostly really bad. Stuff like this is really bad, but I had the Spheal in 5 encounters. I had Pumpkaboo in like 60 something. So, you know, like ultimately, like my odds probably average out to like around odds, but it's just I'm getting both extremes, right? Could have gotten at least 6 Friend Shinies or 6 Shiny Charm Masuda shiny mods to the amount of encounters you currently have. I know, Ash, I know. It's kind of crazy. Making me feel great, right? It's like, how many other shinies could I have had? Granted, I'm gonna check the number real quick. I believe my Grookey hunt is also offensively over odds for being a shiny charm Masuda hunt. Yeah, what's Grookey at? It's not terrible. I say not terrible like it isn't almost double odds. My Grookey's at like 934 right now. I use the shiny Drifloon on my BDSP team. Nah, I don't know. I don't know if it deserves the attention at this point. It needs to be punished and put in the corner. Have terrible luck. You've been Curry shiny hunting for 140 hours and still no shiny. 3,525 curries made and 663 encounters, but you still don't have a curry shiny. Oof. Curry hunting as we speak. Best of luck, Footless. Hopefully you find one. Curry hunting's an interesting thing to do. I'm going to jinx it. What am I going to jinx twist? I feel like my luck's already gone. I feel like that's just kind of been ruined there. Only 9 days until BDSP release. I am so hype. I am so hyped for that. I'm so hyped for the release, but what I am less hyped for is that I only have 9 days to get my layouts prepped. I've been like, I've got like a month, and then I realized I only had 2 weeks. and then I had to go to a wedding, and so now I have even less time. Your shinies and Dynamax come in waves, then go silent for 3 months. I know, man. Yeah, you had some big droughts on the Dynamax adventure front, but at the same time, yeah, like, you just get a whole bunch and it's like, technically it's still odds. I found one Pokemon for every like 100 Pokemon encountered. It's just, I found like 6 of them after encountering 600. I feel like that's how my Masuda hunting goes usually. Because I always kind of talk about it as like, I either get them like incredibly fast, and it usually ends up being pretty back-to-back. Like 3 Masuda Pokemon in a day, and then I Masuda hunt for a month and find nothing. That was my situation in Sun, at least. Shiny odds are 1 in 512. The shiny odds shouldn't take this long. The odds are only 1 in 512 for the brilliant Pokemon, Ash. These regular ones that aren't brilliant are still 1 in 1365. So like this one's still like kind of full odds. The KOs don't affect it. But when we come across one with the Brilliant Aura, that's 1 in 512. There's just so few of those. Like it's not worth it to only encounter those because there's just so few of them. I wish they were more common. It would make our odds better. But yeah, I feel like I haven't had any brilliant Pokemon be shiny for me just because the odds of them spawning are so low. New data says the Brilliant Aura Pokemon with the 500 battled, with 500 battled at 1 in 512. Yeah, which I kind of almost wish I didn't know. Like, obviously it makes more sense than the Brilliant being random and the odds being random and them not being linked in any way. But it's like now every time I see a Brilliant Pokemon, I'm like, oh, that one's gonna be the shiny, and then of course it's not. I'm just like, I wish I didn't know that because now I'm way more expectant of the Brilliant to be shiny. I already was, just from like the gut feeling of that one's like sparkling already. It's gonna be shiny, right? Starter for BDSP on my main game, which is probably gonna be Brilliant Diamond. It's gonna be Piplup. And my plan is with Shining Pearl to start a save, get a Chimchar, trade it to Brilliant Diamond so I have one for getting that starter line, and then start my actual Shining Pearl playthrough with Turtwig. That's my plan. Maybe the Brilliant ones were supposed to be square. Maybe. I don't know. They're like, we've talked about before, right? Where it's like, it definitely seems like the odds of like the shiny increase happening got like mixed up with the odds for square shinies happening, and it got really weird. At the end of the day, it just got insane. It's only 1 in 512 for that specific Pokemon after KOing it 500 times. Exactly, Ash, exactly. But it's only for that specific Pokemon, and it's only the ones with Brilliant Auras. It's strange. It's strange how it works. It's really confusing. It's not intuitive whatsoever. And it definitely feels like somewhere in the process, something got confused. You know, one of the if statements in their code is just backwards. Game Freak's Jira board has its own shiny section. It's just full of to-do tickets as well. Yeah, it's full of reopens and canceleds. Nah, but I mean, for real though, like there's so much. Sword and Shield made shinies so much more complex. I imagine somewhat in response to how popular shiny hunting got with Sun and Moon. But yeah, no, that was just insane. It's insane how much is like linked to it, while at the same time it feels so broken. You know, like static Pokemon not being affected by Charm, you know, all these kind of crazy little caveats where it's like, you look at Sun and Moon and it's like, oh yeah, you got the shiny Charm, odds are boosted. You know, oh, you're doing SOS encounters, here's how your odds are boosted. You're not? Well, they're not. And like, that was that. But now it's like, oh, well, these soft resets aren't affected by Charm. These Pokemon here aren't affected by any of the like chaining you're doing. It's very strange. And it's like, the 1 in 512 boost, like, I get it. I get the idea of it not always being on, but, like, I feel like that would be solved by just making it so you have to chain up the Pokemon a little bit, right? Like, do 50 encounters consecutively, and now the, like, Brilliant chances are boosted significantly or something, right? Still think Sword and Shield was 2 games melded together. It's definitely something like that. I know just in general, between Nintendo's like frantic panicking and like scramble to get the Switch to market, messed with things, as well as Game Freak not believing in the Switch messed with things. A lot of stuff just really went wrong in the development of Sword and Shield. You started to see the confusion when it came to Gen 6 even, and then like Gen 7, and then Gen 8 all have all this confusion with them, and I really think they just need a breather. They just need to be able to take a step back for a bit, which I think is kind of what like Ilka coming in and doing BDSP's letting them do. They're able to just kind of do a more fun project in Legends, and then hopefully kind of come back refreshed for Gen 9. like actually being able to put some stuff in. Don't want to promote other people's content, but a few months ago you were in someone's stream and they're doing KO method to Shiny at Zigzagoon and went like 9 times over odds. Dang, that is unfortunate for them. That is very unfortunate for them. I'm waiting because I didn't see the Drifloon. Okay. I didn't personally look at it. I was reading chat. Yeah, that's rough. And also, Ash, I don't mind like other people like being mentioned, especially when you're kind of talking about that. Really, the only time like I don't like other people like kind of getting mentioned is just like if it's like, hey, go check them out kind of thing, or like someone coming in and like begging for their own recognition, you know. But like, yeah, I have no problem with like people with like name dropping a streamer or something. If like it's like, oh, so and so went 9 times over odds. Wild area and 2D area, like why? The DLC doesn't have any 2D areas, which makes you believe Sword and Shield is supposed to be in 2D, and they had a 3D project going on too, and they combined them in your theory. That's possible. I think the wild area was kind of put in as a bit of a test. I think it was a way to like kind of test the waters on what people wanted as far as like a free cam kind of Pokemon game, kind of like what we're seeing with Legends. I think it was kind of added in as like a way to test the waters and see if people liked it. Generally, it seems like the community was like, yes, give us more of this. I wasn't part of that group, but oh well, we're getting BDSP. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think it was just there were so many people screaming for open world Pokemon. They're like, fine, we got to do something. And to an extent, yeah, maybe like Sword and Shield was so incomplete that they're like, we got to put some more content in here. And they just took their tech demo and slapped it into the middle of the region. Game Freak always being careful. Yeah, I love the 2D areas of Sword and Shield. They look gorgeous. Absolutely. The only real issue I have with any 2D areas in the game is the fact that like the dungeon areas, like the caves, are just super linear. Not really having a ton of branching paths like we used to have. But that's my only complaint. I have way more issues with the wild area, mostly from a post-game perspective. I think it's incredibly boring that every Pokemon here is like level 60 to 65 now. Like, that's just, it feels very dull to me for that to be the case. Like, the fact that they all continue to level up and like remain the same level as you. I get they don't want to make it super easy, like when you go back to the very beginning of the wild area, but also like, come on. I don't want everything I see to be level 60. But I think that might just be more of a me thing. I've also been very vocal on stream about my kind of like, not like dislike, but my neutrality to the idea of an open world game. I don't think every game needs to be open world, and like I think Legends strikes the right kind of like gameplay loop, I feel, to work with a more open world kind of concept. The setting and everything makes it work a little bit better in Legends, I think, as opposed to like if you were to make like a truly like a Sinnoh remake that's open world with routes and stuff that you can just kind of wander through however the heck you want. That doesn't work as much as kind of the semi-open world that it seems like Legends will be. Did that in Wormholes too, just like the super high level Pokemon. Twilight Princess did closed open world really well. Yeah, I need to play more Zelda games. I loved Link's Awakening when I played it. I need to like actually play Breath of the Wild, and then I need to go back and play some older ones. I just never got into Zelda as a kid. Mostly because outside of my Game Boy, which I played Pokemon on mainly, we didn't really have any Nintendo systems. Like basically, I had handhelds until we got the Wii, and then Matt sat in the like living room TV and had Wii Sports, and Wii Sports Resort plugged into it 99% of the time. So yeah, I need to go back and play some more Zelda stuff. Because when I do play stuff like that, I enjoy it. You know, I mean, and like Dread was my first Metroid game. I feel like I feel like for the amount of Nintendo stuff I own, I haven't played a lot of classic Nintendo games. Only really started Zelda with Link to the Past on SNES. Got you. Yeah, the game consoles that I had growing up was, we got an Xbox when I was in like first grade, and I think like when I was in second grade, I got a Game Boy Advance. this one, in fact. I got this one when I was in like second grade and have had it ever since. Then when I was in like fifth grade, I got a DS Lite. That got broken, so I didn't have it for most of middle school or high school. And then I bought a 3DS after that. And we got a Wii. We got a Wii at some point in there. And like those are the gaming consoles I had growing up. I bought a 360 in high school, as far as like other home consoles go. So yeah, I really didn't have a lot of Nintendo stuff until college. So I just never really had a lot of opportunities to play like some more of the classic Nintendo franchises, just because we had the chance on the Wii, but I didn't know about them, so I didn't like ever want them. I'd just come across random games that turned out to be shovelware. I'd be like, oh, that looks interesting, and that was most of what we had for our Wii. I think the most hours I put in was on like Wii Sports and like Mario Kart. I think the 360 was a great console. Yes, switched to PS with the PlayStation 4. That's fair. That's very fair. Like, really, what happened there is just like Xbox clearly had won the generation, as long as they kept the trajectory they were on, and then they got way too like it went to their head too much, right? Like they made the 360. It was a juggernaut, and they're like, we got to compete with the Wii, and went in way too hard on the Kinect and carried that weirdly high ambition of everyone having a Kinect over to the Xbox One. And basically Microsoft made the decisions for the Xbox One equivalent to the decisions Sony made for the PlayStation 3. That is the reason why the 360 won the early part of that generation, as far as like any kind of console wars go. Yeah, like, you know, the original PS3 shipped with so much bloat on it. Like, it was cool stuff. Looking back, it's like, that's awesome they put that there, but it cost them so much money, and it made the console so much more expensive. Wii was so much fun, though. Heck yeah, Pokemon game you had with that. Oh, nice. I remember trying Battle Revolution and being a little bit disappointed. I don't really remember what I was expecting out of it, but when I learned it was just a battle game and I wasn't super big into the battling side of Pokemon, like I was like, oh, it took forever to rent it. Like I was trying to rent it from Blockbuster, where most of the games I played that weren't like the super basic Wii games came from. And it was always out of stock. Like they never had a copy of it. And I think finally like my dad went there to rent a movie and found it and brought it home one day, and I played it for like 10 minutes and stopped. I was like, oh, this isn't anything like what I expected. Microsoft always tries to compete by copying instead of inventing. A history of it. The Zune, too. True. Remember when the Zune had, like, a massive problem, just, like, OS-wide, where they didn't account for leap years or something, and the devices just didn't work for a day? Like, they just got to December 31st of, like, whatever year it was, and it just didn't work. Also, sorry if you can hear my cat. She's suddenly getting very needy. And very screamy. But yeah, like they just had like a day where they just didn't work or something. Yeah, every once in a while, Microsoft can come out with like one really good product, and they kind of ride it for a while, and like everything else they're doing at the end of the time is just like a complete flop. Yeah, this brown. Yeah, like it came in like one or two good colors, but like the one they promoted was just like a glossy brown. Yeah. And it honestly had the same kind of issue that the Xbox One did. It tried doing too much. It just tried doing way too much. And I think the one person I was aware of who bought a Zune bought it, and people were like, why'd you buy that over the iPod? I said, oh, because, you know, I wanted people to load like my own, like, I wanted people to like rip the CDs I owned to it, you know, like load my own MP3 files on it. And he was very disappointed to learn that the iPod also let you do that, and he didn't need to go and buy a Zune. It's like when the one reason that people want your product over another one is because they don't understand that the other product does that thing. It's like, yeah, that's not a great product. I think there was something the Zune did I thought was cool, but like if they did it poorly, and the next iPod Nano did it as well or something. In order to beat the iPod, you can't make another iPod. Exactly. Like you've got to actually like try to go a step beyond it, and they kind of did, but they did it poorly, or they did it in a way that just didn't work. Like I think the thing I'm thinking of is from the get-go, I think the Zunes did video. And they released like when iPod Nanos were still like Gen 2s, so like they couldn't, but it wasn't like it was expected that iPods would soon have that, and sure enough they did. I got like the square like Gen 3 Nano, and then the Gen 4 Nano was basically the same form factor as a Zune, but smaller and a better screen. Yeah, I think in general, a lot of Microsoft stuff, it's like they make one good thing every once in a while, and then people stick with it. You get Windows, you got the Xbox for the most part. Rip the Zune, when was it killed? I forget, when was it killed? They stopped selling them in 2011, and like all their services were turned off in 2015. From the looks of it online, from a quick Google search. I'm shocked the services stayed around that long. But I think that's also kind of the time they started shifting more to like Groove and everything. Like they started trying to make like the Windows apps and stuff for all the music services. And I think at that point they just kind of decided it's not worth it to continue attempting to like add to it, like support the Zune on it. It's like, we haven't sold a new one of these in 4 years. Anyone who's using it's probably like already cracked it and has like, you know, just loading stuff off it without using any of their like music services. It's like rip Zune, but like no one was there to mourn its passing. Yeah, so Puffin, what's your plan when it comes to the BDSP launch? Like, you got a streaming plan with that yet, or are you just gonna kind of see what happens, see how you're feeling with it? At least I can recognize when something doesn't work most of the time, right? Oh, we haven't even talked about Windows Phone, right? How long they tried to make that work for? Yeah, I mean, I guess that is true. I think at this point they have learned. they have very solid experience with a flop. Like they know very quickly. Yeah, that wasn't a good one. Back to the drawing board. Because every once in a while, like they've got the Surface and stuff now. I feel like that's a pretty solid line of products. I don't hear about it too much at this point anymore. Like the original ones were really good. The Surface Book I think was well accepted. If it was a little niche. No idea, I might start off with a starter hunt, just see if you get lucky. Off stream, grinding for that Dex. I got you. Yeah, my plan is, I think, for the first, like, weekend, basically I'm getting the... I'm still not sure if my local GameStop's doing a midnight release or not. I want the physical copies. I really want to play physical. But my GameStop doesn't know if they're, like, going to be doing a physical, like, midnight release or not yet. If they're not, I'm just going to have to, like, buy one of the digital versions to play at midnight when it comes out. But yeah, my plan is to like, I want to do as much of this on stream as I can to try to beat one, if not both the games by like end of Monday. And from there, yeah, try to finish the decks within a week. Excuse me. Only person you knew that used the Windows Phone was pretty much Trevor in GTA 5. I knew 2 people who had Windows phones. No clue why they chose them. They just did. I think one of them bought it right before they discontinued them too, which was very unfortunate for him. But he also bought into like the Android tablet 2-in-1 things, which also kind of flopped. I think he always was trying to go for being in like with like bleeding edge tech, but always seemed to just pick the wrong one. Yeah, it was very interesting. Like, it had some cool features. I thought it was really cool. It's just, I think, like, Microsoft has a lot of cool ideas, and, like, most of the time they're just either a little bit ahead of their time, or they just missed one crucial thing that would have made it great. I was thinking about getting a part-time job at GameStop for like 2 weeks before Pokemon releases and grabbing a copy early and quitting. That'd probably put you on some kind of like list of like do not allow anywhere near GameStops. Like not allowed within 100 yards of the building. Yeah, like I don't know. My GameStop's like says like basically when I walked into the GameStop, I've asked a couple times, and one time I was told it would be the beginning of November they would know. Like within like within 2 weeks of the game coming out, they would know if they're doing a midnight release or not. So I went in a few days ago and asked, and the guy still threw up his hands. Well, I don't know. It'll like we'll let everyone know when we do the phone calls saying like reminding people of their pre-orders and stuff. Which I'm confused because I never get those. I've never gotten those. When U-Sum came out, I didn't get the one that they apparently called everyone who pre-ordered and said like, oh, we're gonna release like an hour early to match like another time zone. I didn't know that. I showed up at midnight. They were locking the doors and like, what? I was like, hold on, what is this? Shipping chains are all messed up too. Gotta go. All right, see you later, Puffin. Thanks for stopping by the stream, man. It was good to see you streaming again, and yeah, hope to see you soon. Meetings all day tomorrow, so gotta get some early Z's. I feel ya, dude. I have a 7:30 meeting every morning. I was very nervous that with the time change, it was gonna start being a 6:30 meeting in the morning. Fortunately not, but yeah, definitely get some rest. Best of luck with all the meetings, man. And yeah, hope to see you in the stream again soon. Good luck in the hunt, Shern. Balloon will be golden. I hope so. I hope so. I don't want to hit 4,000. Why is this hunt at 3,300? It shouldn't be that high. There's no good reason for this hunt to be as long as it is. We've gone as long as it has. Oh, thought I hit the Drifloon. With my luck, a random Delibird's gonna be what I get the shiny on first, right? I didn't mean to run into that. Man, I've really just been missing, like, everything here. Encountered everything but Drifloon. Hit the Delibird. Okay, I did not. Good. Yo, what's going on, Vanillix? Welcome to the stream, man. How you doing today? Good to see ya. Doing it nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Excited. Excited for BDSP being like 10 days away. Less than 10 days at this point, pretty much. BDSP hype is through the roof. Noise. Game's been data mined. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I know you were the one talking a lot about this on Discord. So has it just been like data mined, or is it like, has someone been playing through it? I feel like from my understanding, it seems like someone's been playing through it, similar to how we got like the early like pre-release live streams of Sword and Shield. Is it similar to that, or is it just preloaded preload data mines? Excuse me. Because I feel like what happened last time was like a retail copy, fully data mined. Okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing that that's something that I feel like almost anyone could do. If you have the tools. Oh, it's both. Okay. Okay. Yeah, once the preloads start happening, I think it's a little bit easier to just like, I think it becomes a little bit easier to data mine. But yeah, if there's just like a retail copy that got out, then yeah, those tend to quickly end up in the hands of data miners. The people who are willing to risk getting a copy of that are also the people who are generally, I feel like, knowledgeable enough to know what to do with it. Like, I don't think you risk that, like the legal trouble with both probably your employer as well as, like, Nintendo. Not a good company to get in hot water with. Unless, like, you have like connections to make it worthwhile, right? Like I don't think anyone's like, lol, I'm just gonna take it and like play it. Like, you gotta be able to get it and get it away from you. You gotta be able to get it to someone who's gonna be able to utilize it. At least, especially if we're gonna hear about it, right? Like, there's probably a copy or two that just got out there and people played it on their Switch offline, and that's that. Feel really bad for Ilka though. Why is that? Their rush worse than Game Freak ever was? What do you mean? And like, why do you say that? Does Nintendo own the Pokemon IP? Kind of. Pokemon is like one of the few cases I would say of a second party game. Basically, Pokemon as an IP is owned by the Pokemon Company. The Pokemon Company is owned, I believe, 3 ways by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. Basically, kind of effectively leaning 2/3 into Game Freak owning it there. Since like Creatures has been around since very early Pokemon days, specifically for Pokemon kind of like ownership. Yeah, so like Nintendo owns a part of the company that owns the game. It's one of the few cases I would say of like a game not being first party, but also being way too intrinsically linked to Nintendo to be a third party. So they don't quite own it, but Nintendo is very heavily invested in the success of Pokemon and in like any of the legality and ownerships of Pokemon, as they do own a part of it. Yeah, so there's a little bit of stuff. The version people are playing right now is broken. Music's unfinished, game is glitchy, and they have to put a day 1 patch, which, by the way, doesn't happen in Pokemon very often, except X and Y. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks to have that happen, but that's so common in the gaming industry now. honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to learn that most of the content we have seen in the trailers up to this point, like from like August until now, most of the content we've seen in the trailers is content specific to the day one patch, like fixes pushed by the day one patch. Just because it takes so long to go through the QA and the publishing process on the games that, like, I imagine Ilka and Pokemon Company in that situation go to Nintendo and go, look, we're releasing, this is 1.0. This is 1.0. We're going to release 1.1 day one to fix these things. We can QA that later. But as far as us printing boxes and writing cartridges, you have to be out the door for a November release. You have to be like through all of your QC, no changes allowed to the code put on the physical cartridge. Like on release day after like August, right? Like you can't make any changes after that. Or even like July. So a lot of that comes down to, hey, obviously this game isn't perfect, but it's going to go on the cartridge like this, and immediately a patch is going to go out. That's what happens with a lot of games. I mean, like Mario Odyssey has that even, right? Where it's like day one there was a patch to fix an exploit that people use in speedruns now. So like that kind of thing. Look at the files. Almost half the game is missing because on the eShop it says 8 gigs and the data mod files are 4 gigs. Day one patch must have a lot. Either a lot or it's weirdly compressed. Or the data mine files just haven't pulled everything out of it. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call that super duper rushed. Obviously, it's not great that like day one patches mean stuff has been found. That's a problem. If it's this obvious, it's clear that they like had a goal to aim for passing QC, and then from there they have to move forward. And QC in this case is not breaking the switch when you plug in a 1.0 version cartridge. Shiny Evie, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Hope all is well. Yeah, so that's interesting to see that the cartridge is like that and that the eShop version is not. Or like that they have such a discrepancy in their gigabyte. Interested about this being in Unity. Makes sense. Ultimately, it makes sense. There's no reason to not use like a game engine like that. It's definitely interesting to see them do that and not go with their own proprietary engine, but it's Ilka, it's not Game Freak. Been a while, absolutely, but happy to have you here. Hope life's been treating you well. Yeah, so I mean, like, obviously it would suck for like the day one patch on this game to not properly remedy things or something. That would really suck. Fingers crossed that it does, obviously, but yeah, hopefully it remedies a lot of stuff. I have to assume it will if it's talking about starters aren't shiny locked. Yeah, I'm not gonna be shiny hunting them immediately. Like I've been saying for so long, my main goal at the start is not initially to get shinies. It is just to plow through as much of the game as we can. As fast as we can, ideally beating Brilliant Diamond and potentially Shining Pearl both by Monday. While I'm still taking off work for playing it, and then by the end of that week, I want to have a complete dex or like a 70% complete dex at least. As far as like what's available in the dex, because I want that shiny charm. I'm gonna be doing everything I can to get as many shinies as possible before the release of Legends Arceus. So again, from my perspective, that means like I don't particularly care if what I end up having to do there is like I didn't do the soft reset hunt for the starters as early as I could have. I should do like this other thing first. Like I'm here for efficiency right now. We're gonna do that. We can go back and do the fun hunts later. We can do Manaphy later, assuming that egg is huntable. We can do whatever that stuff ends up being later. A lot of the usual shiny locks are going to be the same because the Dialga and Palkia aren't shiny locked either. Are gone. Oh, wait, is that really, like, legit? That's awesome. We were talking about that earlier in stream, and, like, my thought is still, my thought really has just been like, I wouldn't be shocked to see the starters are still, or the legends are still locked. So yeah, my plan was just to go and kind of go in, if they're locked, that's what I expected, and if they're unlocked, that's a very pleasant surprise. But yeah, that's fantastic if that's the case. That would mean, really, that would just mean being able to hunt stuff very easily, right? Like, you can give yourself the shiny charm super early in the game, like in a new save file if you have a living dex, and just like, boom, get Dialga transferred over, boom, get Palkia transferred over. That'd be awesome. No shiny locks, that's fantastic. I'm curious. I'm very curious then, if that means the Manaphy egg's huntable. I would be very curious to see that, because event Pokemon fall into that whole different category of we don't know how the egg will be generated on like the mystery gift server side. We don't know how the egg will hatch. I don't think we know how the shiny, I guess maybe, I don't know if data miners have found this, but like, we don't know the mechanisms for how like the Pokemon stats are determined from the egg, because that's changed game to game, right? Like Sword and Shield, the egg is set. Once you receive the egg is set. No matter who hatches it, it's gonna be the Pokemon that the egg was. Versus like Sun and Moon, where the egg is given a value that's then used with the trainer ID to generate, all that stuff, right? Like, that kind of stuff can vary, and depending on what happens there, the Manaphy egg could be huntable. It could be very not. Mythical Pokemon and gift Pokemon, you believe, are shiny locked. See, but that lock again, like, is it locked the way that Manaphy was in Gen 4, where you can exploit that? Or what's the deal here? Honestly, the real answer is probably the egg's not going to be tradable. They'll probably just be like, nah, can't do that. Which sucks, but it's also fair. Or not, I say it's fair, but I think it's just expected. Yeah, so like yeah, that's the kind of thing where it's like, I wouldn't expect those to necessarily be unlocked, but Pokemon that are related to the Dex being unlocked, that's nice. That's nice to hear. Bet you're right, yeah. It's probably just going to be the egg can't trade. It's going to be slightly special from a normal egg. Just like grayed out in the trading menu. It'd be awesome if you could do that. Obviously, I imagine Fion would be huntable, just because Fion's a normal Pokemon as far as the games have always been concerned. You just breed it from Manaphy, and it is what it is. Gonna be Shiny Hunting Rayquaza and Dynamax Adventures. Best select Shiny EV. Let us know if you find it. Yeah, no, I'm interested to see how that plays out. I think I'll try. If the eggs are tradable, I will try kind of exploiting the fact that you can just make infinite profiles and trade eggs away. I'll try doing that. If that ends up not working, oh well. Because it'd kind of be nice if you could just like continuously create profiles and trade the eggs over to your main save and hatch them all, and then see, do I find a shiny? Nah, well, see you next stream for it. I'm gonna go hatch more eggs. I'm gonna go collect more eggs, right? Like that could be an intriguing hunt, and there's some time to do that. There's only a certain amount of time, but there is time to do that, so it'd be interesting. Looked a bit of the gameplay because you've seen Gen 4, so it's not spoilers, and they did so good. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm, like, on the fence, right? Like, clearly it's not a brand new game, and, like, I even saw a lot of the stuff from Sword and Shield. Granted, Sword and Shield, I think, was one of those things where it's, like, a train wreck where you just, like, you can't look away. Like, it's horrible, you don't want to look at it, but, like, you can't look away. Like, the morbid curiosity kind of takes over there. I don't have that with this. So it's like, yeah, I know Sinnoh. It's been out for over a decade. Like, I'm not being spoiled on story points, largely. There's still some things, but I'm not being spoiled on story points. But I also kind of want to go in as fresh as I still can. Like, obviously we all know Sinnoh, we all know this stuff, but it's like, there's still some, like, magic to playing a game for the first time that I feel like it can be lost a little bit if you end up playing, like, if you end up seeing a lot of stuff about it. What was so bad about Sword and Shield? It was very rushed for various reasons. One of the biggest ones being, so there are two main reasons. One is that Pokemon Company and Game Freak both like together. So again, this goes back to how Nintendo doesn't directly own Pokemon. It only has a little bit of influence on it. Generally, they can kind of say like, hey, here's our roadmap for where you should release Pokemon games. And Pokemon Company president and the main director for Pokemon games for Game Freak at the time both didn't believe the Switch would be successful and thought mobile games were the future of all portable gaming. They thought that like the success of mobile gaming was going to ruin the Switch and it was going to be a horrible, horrible flop. They were very wrong. They suddenly had to finish a Pokemon game for the Switch they didn't expect they would actually be required to make because the Switch was going to do poorly. So they started late. Another thing is, it appears one thing that happened in the process of development is they built an importer tool to transfer all of the Pokemon models they made for Gen 6 and Gen 7 to Gen 8. Just moving from the engine that was kind of used to build Gen 6 and then probably what Gen 7 was built off of. Whatever they were using on Switch didn't accept the models as they were, and they had to push them through an importer. The importer broke, and none of the models were transferred. So they had to like rebuild the models from scratch, looking at the models from the old games. So really what the drama comes down to, Twist, is the drama is really kind of what it is, and what like everyone's upset about is the games themselves are fairly like like they're not horrific, right? Like they're not offensively bad. Obviously we're playing it now. It looks decent. It's an okay Switch game. It's not as like clean as like Mario Odyssey. It's not as like, you know, boundary breaking as Breath of the Wild, but it's okay. It's okay. For the first game of a handheld moving to the Switch, it's not terrible. But what they did is when the importer broke and they were rushed, they couldn't move all like 800 or 900 Pokemon up. They couldn't make all those models in time. So what they said is they made the conscious decision. They didn't say anything about the importer breaking. This was just kind of figured out later, I believe, through a mixture of interviews and also just kind of data mining. But what was said in one of the Treehouse announcements for the game was, this may disappoint some fans, but we have made the conscious decision to not include all Pokemon from previous games for the sake of quality. And that immediately switched people's reactions to the trailer they had just seen. The trailer just seems pretty decent, right? Like it was okay, it was all good. But like for more realistic animations, for better looks, all this stuff. And then everyone went back to the trailer and said, this is no better than a 3DS game. Why'd you cut Pokemon? Like that was a really touchy subject for the fan base, obviously. So basically, because they made that statement and said that they did the most controversial thing in the history of a Pokemon game, because they said they did it for quality, people really scrutinized the quality of the games. More so than I think they would have otherwise. So that's where that comes in. One of the big examples people point to is look at the trees in the background of this. Those would have been on a GameCube game, right? Like that's what people talk about, is like, why are the models for other stuff not good if if you cut Pokemon to make everything better? So that's what people are upset about. Hate how people are complaining there isn't stuff from Platinum and ORAS. In Platinum, ORAS didn't have Emerald stuff, and another special episode doesn't count. I kind of have the same reaction where it's like they said they're faithful remakes of Diamond and Pearl. Any of the Platinum stuff added in is the bonus. It's not the other way around. It's not they cut content from what could have been a Platinum remake to make these. Any like Platinum content in the game is already extra, right? Like that's the deal, you know? Like it's Diamond and Pearl remakes. So now people are like, oh, they're gonna make a Platinum remake. It's like, I don't know. We didn't get an Emerald remake. We got a Delta episode. We might get some kind of Platinum episode, right? I don't know. I don't know if the game's been played enough for people to see if there's a Platinum-esque episode or not. Like where you get Arceus or you get like a different Giratina or something. I don't know. Well, yeah, they're Diamond and Pearl. They're not Platinum. That'd be a different game. I don't know, the Pokemon community loves complaining. like I say, the Pokemon community is so big that a vocal minority is larger than other entire fan bases. That's just how it is. That's how it's always been. The people complaining the loudest are the ones who've already pre-ordered both games. I've pre-ordered both games. I can't really judge them for that, but the people who are most likely to be this upset are people who are already super interested in the game. That's how it always is with these things. Like, we had a conversation recently about how, like, the only way that, like, that ends up affecting anything is if people outside the community hear about it and agree with it, as far as, like, it being a bad thing. So nothing's really gonna happen with it. I don't think people are gonna be canceling their pre-orders over that or anything. So freaking excited. Heck yeah, dude. I'm really excited as well. I'm really excited. The day one patch thing doesn't scare me. Obviously, it's like not fantastic, but I'd rather them have a day one patch than let it roll as however it is. Everything they've shown has looked really good, especially when you consider how much scrutinizing this kind of stuff's gonna get from the fan base right now. You know, like when we're looking at it as we're looking at it. Yeah, the fan base is gonna tear anything apart. Post Dexit controversy. You know, they're not gonna let anything. Everyone's gonna be looking at stuff a lot more closely. So, you know, if there's a small complaint before is a massive complaint now from large amounts of the community. All right, see you later, Shiny Eevee. Thank you for stopping by. Happy to have you here. What's Dexit? That is the colloquial term people use in reference to the Dex being the Pokedex being cut down for the new games. Basically, if you look at Gen 7 or earlier, so Gen 6, literally every Pokemon was available between the 4 games in Gen 6 with X, Y, and ORAS. You can complete the Pokedex up through all the Pokemon available from Kanto to Kalos. Gen 7 in Alola added all the new Pokemon and still had a good chunk of the Pokemon available to catch, but you could still trade in any Pokemon that wasn't available to catch could be traded in. So there are like 400 Pokemon, I believe, available in the Dex in Gen 3 or in Gen 7. I don't know why I said 3. But the remaining like 430 could be traded in from another game. Could be traded in from Pokemon Bank. Like, so if you had all these Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y that weren't catchable in Sun, Moon, or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, you could trade them all in. You could slap them all in. Gen 8 did not do it that way. Only Pokemon that were catchable in Gen 8, with a few exceptions, were allowed to be transferred in from other games. So if you had like a Squirtle, and Squirtle just wasn't in the game, you couldn't trade a Squirtle in. Or, you know, any of the other starters or stuff like that. Various random Pokemon. People were very upset by that. Again, going back to my previous point of they said they made that decision based off of they said they made that decision based on like improving the quality of the games, and then people pointed out a lot of quality flaws with the games, which is where, like I say, like post like Dexit happening, post this whole controversy about them cutting Pokemon from a game to improve the quality, and people really started paying attention to the quality of every Pokemon game that's come out since. Mainly the DLCs for Sword and Shield, as well as now looking at the quality of Legends from the trailers and the quality of BDSP from the trailers. I think there will be Platinum stuff because Giratina's Platinum theme is in the files, and files for the Arceus event from Platinum's in the files. I'm like, oh, if that Arceus event's actually in this game, I'd be really happy. Given it was in the game, it was like, oh, it's too complex. Like, no. Just let us do it. Let us do it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we can get. RC event was from Heart Gold Soul Silver. From Heart Gold Soul Silver was iconic because of how weird it was. I don't know, I just remember the one where it was like, we never gave out the item from it because we thought it was going to be too confusing for people. And it was like, that looks like a really cool story. What the heck? Why didn't you give that to us? And I'm excited though. It's crazy how quick this came up. Like I feel like when everything was announced in February, it was like, oh, it's gonna take forever. And then really, like I've said, I think it's just looking back on the fact that like we literally got nothing for like 6 months. So like you look back on that time, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff. Gonna head out, see ya tomorrow. Not on stream, at least. Not on stream. I don't know about outside of it, man, but not on stream. Wednesdays are my day off, or one of my days off, since I do some of my racing at night. Hey, what's going on, gamers? Welcome to the stream, man. How you doing today? Hope all is well. Forza came out today. Haven't gotten it yet. Oh, nice. If you get it, let me know what you think. We know where Sudden is then. Sudden was upset that he didn't have like the I guess what, like the Platinum Edition or Premium Edition or whatever it was that lets you play it early. Heart Gold Silver is like, take Arceus to the ruins. This old man greets you, and Arceus takes you to the middle of Johto and Sinnoh, and you meet Cynthia, and you go to all these ruins, and Arceus summons one. Oh, the legendaries in this weird realistic cutscene plays. Weird. That is really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's what like the Sinjo ruins are for and everything, right? Yeah, that's wacky. That one was shiny huntable though, right? Like that was actually a shiny huntable event, if I'm not mistaken. Still going for Guzzlord. Best of luck on it, man. No luck yet? Dang. Hopefully your luck isn't as bad as mine's been on Drifloon. Yeah, we've blown odds by so much. It was, yes, okay. Man, I wish that would be huntable. That'd be a fantastic hunt to do. Like, I'd love for some of the mythicals to be huntable, because those usually don't count towards the decks. Hype for Forza Horizon 5, nice. Any hype for BDSP, man? Or you focused on Forza here? Can still do the event. Can you? Does it require like a mystery gift item to be given to you, or what's the deal with that? Getting BDSP first. Got you. Got your priorities in line. Know what you want. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I'm so excited for BDSP. You don't need an item? Oh, nice. Then I just need to actually play through Heart Gold. What's the kickoff for it then? Oh, like it's a Sinjo thing that you need the Arceus for. Okay. I'm confused. Isn't this an event to get an Arceus? BDSP is only like 9 days away, right? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, 10 if you're going into like the day. But I know a lot of people are kind of basically just considering it comes out on the 19th at midnight, so it's basically still like the 18th if you just stay up. So you've got like 9 whole days until it's out. Close to 9 though. Yeah, we can count it. We can count it on our fingers now, which is what is awesome. I'm excited. We're so close to this game, and I'm gonna be so into it. It's an event where you need to have Arceus to trigger it. You get one of the Sinnoh Legends. Oh, okay. So not what I was thinking. I was thinking it was like an actual Arceus event. Got you. Yeah, so that's what I thought you meant by Arceus event. Because the one I was talking about was an event to get Arceus, like with the Poke Flute and everything, or whatever. Maybe not Poke Flute, but you know what I mean. You know the event I'm talking about. The infamous, it's too complicated, so we didn't release it, despite it looking like the most like entertaining and enjoyable kind of event of Gen 4. So yeah, that looked fun. But it was like, nah, we didn't release the item officially because, I don't know. You're going to be confused by it. Ever stay up until the next morning and just think, oh crap, missed that? Then you realize you just stayed up past 12. I usually do that. One second. Excuse me. Yeah, when I do that, usually when I notice it is when I'm like trying to look at like the times for something later on. One of the biggest things is if I'm like looking to pay a bill or something that's like due on this date, and I look and I'm like, oh crap, it's that date. I only have a few minutes, and I realize it actually just changed. Whew, sorry about that. It's too complicated for kids. I don't know, man. I don't know. You can only I can't argue with that necessarily. I've watched like my kid cousin when he was a little bit younger playing Sun ask me how to beat something, and I just said, "Did you read this?" And he said, "No." I was like, "All right, well that's why you don't know what to do." But yeah, I've definitely done the thing gamers as well, where I'm like, I look at something and it's like get next, like with Amazon or something. If I order something past midnight, it's like, oh, we'll arrive tomorrow on like Sunday, and I'm like, but it's Friday, and then I look and see that it's indeed Saturday now by like 15 minutes. I've done that before for sure. Kids playing Pokemon, they don't read the text, which is why they get stuck and then they complain that it didn't tell them what to do when it did. Yeah, like that was exactly what it's like. What am I doing? Like, it just told you. It's like, oh, I didn't read that. I'm like, well, lose, and then they'll tell you again. You know? Hey guys, remember when I talked about how like Diglett took me an insane number of encounters? And like how it was driving me mad? And that was really only like 2 times odds. Yeah, remember the good old days? As a kid, you always read the text because you loved the story. I read it as much as I could. Great thing, I was playing when I was like 8 or 9, so. Excuse me. Yeah, I was playing the game when I was like 8 or 9, so at the very least I understood the words. I might not have understood the mechanics behind it, because I didn't like really like focus on the instructions. Or like I never came across the trainer school or anything like that, you know? You mean Ditto? I caught myself, I was about to say Ditto and I changed it to Diglett. I caught myself. I also apologize if I peaked the mic. One of the things I need to do this week is work on audio levels and just make sure everything's perfect. But yeah, I did almost say Ditto. That did actually almost happen. Got him again. You didn't get me. You didn't get me. I stopped myself from being got. I don't know how I messed that one up as much as I did though. Right, like legit at the end of the day, I'm like, how did I mess that up so bad so many times, right? Messing up his names, must be getting old. You're right. You're right. Now that I'm becoming an adult, I'm forgetting all the Pokemans. Surprising name all the 800 and something Pokemon. Haha. Joke's on you, there's like 900 something. Really are. I mean, you say that like you're not in a Pokemon live stream chat. Right? Oh dang, we finished that playlist. Adele is getting annoyed that I've completely ignored all of her like cries for attention. It is crab rave time in chat, guys. Hey, there we go. More crabs going on. What's with the wings? You're the one who posted them. I don't know why you're asking me. If anything, I should be asking you. Yeah, that very much feels like a you answer. You hear her now? Yeah. She's just sitting outside the door screaming. I imagine there's a really solid chance that I will, that she'll be in and out of the streams over the weekend. I'm desperate for attention, right? She had all day to get it. And oh, the controller just died. Can I get to reconnect? Oh, alright. Alright. We're on to Joy-Cons now. She sleep all day? Of course. She's a cat. It's what she do, you know. But, you know, she slept all day. She's had dinner. I think she's just like, hey, she hasn't adjusted the time changes. My assumption, you know, it's late. Attention, please. Yeah, basically, I think she's kind of like, hey, your door's usually open by now, you know, like because usually the stream would be over for the past 30 minutes. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if she adjusts. I feel like that's usually kind of the thing that I've seen is most of the time they don't, and they just kind of like continue to scream about it until it's daylight savings times again, and then like, ah yeah, finally back to normal. My yelling worked, so I'll yell even earlier. Yeah, she's just gonna want in and want to sit on my lap and stuff and be an annoying little jerk. Waiting for me to eat her food. Is basically what it's gonna be, I imagine. You too, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, admittedly for me, like, my meeting is now later, which is phenomenal. I'm more awake for it than I usually was. But now, like, yeah. I mean, outside of that, I feel like it's been pretty decent. The one thing is, like, I still haven't changed the clock on my oven. Yeah, so I look at that and go, oh crap, it's way later than day than I expected, and then I look at literally any other clock in my house, and they've all updated. Doesn't it get darker earlier now, or is that daylight savings? I always get confused. Yeah, darker earlier now. Kind of the whole idea of daylight savings is to have more daylight at the end of the day. Basically, you wake up earlier, so it's like dark while you're waking up, but like at the end of the day, you know, there's still more light outside to do stuff at night and everything. Don't see the point in daylight. Yeah, I mean, if it was just night all the time, right? Like, who needs the sun? Daylight savings anymore. There really isn't a need in the same way that there was when it was implemented. It was implemented for like saving oil because it used to be oil lamps. Like, so like, all right, if we have daylight longer, then you don't need as much oil for oil lamps, right? Like that was kind of the whole idea. Restructure our day and the time we went to sleep around, you know, around like when it was light out, during the summer months when you were able to, but because basically the idea was save oil for war. But obviously that's not needed anymore. One of the biggest reasons now for having is like, just so that it's lighter longer and you can enjoy the summertime more. Is basically the reason for keeping it. So it's like either just like I feel like we should just shift to that time permanently or shift to normal standard time permanently. Basically pointless now. Don't need it anymore. Exactly. Exactly. There really isn't a direct need for it at this point. Alright, yeah, we are getting close to 3,500. I might end up wrapping it at 3,500, just because, yeah, chat's pretty slow, pretty quiet. I had to go to the bathroom. The cat wants attention, you know, a lot of things. But yeah, I think that's kind of what we're going for. We'll go for the next 49 encounters. It might take us all the way. I don't know. We might also find the Pokemon. We don't know. We'll find out. I think it's because it became a tradition we do. We just kind of do it. I mean, it's not so much that it's a tradition as much as it's written into laws. Basically, like, daylight savings is part of the initiative. Like, the way to make it a thing was to, like, make it part of the law. That's what we do is on these dates, we switch the time, right? Like, that's how it was set up. Obviously, we don't really need it now. But it's one of those things that's like, is it worth the effort to go through and remove it? A lot of more and more places have been saying yes. Some states are like that. Some states are not. So a lot of countries don't do it anymore or never did it in the first place. Like it's crazy. Or countries like do it at different times. I know like a lot of like at least like UK and stuff. I know when a lot of the viewers were from the UK, they'd be like, "Oh, you changed the stream time." But I hadn't, and it wasn't daylight. It hadn't like been a time change for us. It'd been a time change for them, and then our time change happened, and it all lined back up again. Didn't learn that in school. I mean, it's like not like it's really a historical law. It's literally just like a lot of stuff is just law, right? Like it's not like a law in the sense of being like a criminal law or something. Like if you don't follow daylight savings times, like jail for you or something. But it's like a lot of that kind of stuff is put into place with like a bill of some kind, right? Like some kind of like deal where like, all right, because of like we're in wartime, like we're gonna do daylight savings. And it's like okay, and it was passed, and they're just because it's a neutral thing outside of like having one day you're tired and one day you get to sleep in more, like because outside of that, not a lot super changes. There hasn't been a push to fix that when there's other things to deal with. This has kind of just been the situation. But on the whole, it could be changed. Like, it could be changed, but it's not like it's something where we all just, like, don't change the clocks. It has to be, like, officially at the top, so, like, hey, the way we measure time is going to change a little bit, right? Like, or it's going to stop changing a little bit every once in a while is really what it kind of becomes, you know? So that's the situation there. Is it takes a little bit more. It's not just like a tradition, which they would change, but they won't. More and more the sentiments become, why do we still do this? I wouldn't be shocked to see it stop within our lifetime, but I don't think it's something that's going to happen in like the next 10 years or anything like that. I think it's just going to be one of those things where eventually people are like, this is really stupid. We have so many other time zone related things to just like consider. Why add this in as a complexity? Like, you know, right now it's like when the time changed here, it didn't change for Mel because it doesn't change there. So like relearning all the different times of the day because we had figured it out mentally where we knew like, all right, well, it's this time for me and it's this time for her. And it's like we had figured all that out. And then it changed. It changed extra because I flew through different time zones over the weekend anyways, but that just made it even worse. The cat's just screaming out there. Do wonder if people will like start a movement against it in the future. Yeah, but who knows? I don't think we're gonna see like mass protests against it or something. But again, people in general, the sentiment seems to be, why don't we just stop it? At this point, is like, stop it either always on or always off. Whatever you do, like, if the time ends up weird because of it, who cares, right? Man, I'm probably gonna have to repaint that door trim at some point. Oh, she's going to town trying to get in. It's like, I feel bad. I feel bad that she's like locked out, but at the same time, like, I don't really necessarily want her on the stream. Pick whatever is the best option. I mean, really, it comes down to like, I think all of us would like to stay on daylight savings times. At least personally, I know I kind of would. For more like daylight a lot of the time, because there are a lot of places I've been where it's like on standard time that gets dark at like 4, and that feels ridiculous to me, but I don't make the rules. It's like either it gets dark at 4 or it's still light at 9 o'clock. You know, like that's kind of the trade-off I've seen, depending on where you are. Like on the extreme edges of time zones, right? Like, because there's a point where like the sun is basically in the same point in the sky, but it's an hour different, right? So like, if the sun's still up here, if it's setting at 9 o'clock here, it's setting at 8 o'clock here, or like if it got dark at 5 here, it got dark at 4 here, right? Like, that happens in places, so it's like, one gets one or the other, and it's like, I personally feel like I would prefer for it to be light until 9 o'clock as opposed to get dark at 4, but that's me, and I also understand that, like, that's actually not super healthy. In general, it's not super great. Just to scratch at the door. Yeah, that's what she's been doing. Yeah, my mom stayed here for a couple days last week while she was waiting for like the closing on her house, and she took pictures of Adele just sitting at the door waiting for me while I was streaming. Because yeah, that's just what she does. She just sits out there and waits, or like if I'm in the bathroom, she just sits outside that door and waits, or if I went out into the yard, she'll sit at that door and wait. And it's like on one hand, it's like, oh, I appreciate that, like, you miss me in some way. But on the other hand, I was sitting on the couch next to you for like 3 hours as you slept on a chair. Like, if you want the attention, you could have gotten it. I don't know. Not that you can really reason like that with a cat, you know? Kind of a futile effort in that regard. Well, hey, we already know what you want, yeah. Well, at that point, it's not like her being like, I want to get in. It's her trying to get in. It's like, if she scratches at the door enough, it'll open. You know, that kind of logic. Dorius to be loose in the frame, so it scratches way in. Tries his hardest still. Like, this used to work, dang it. Yeah, our dogs at the old house were able to open the back door to come inside. So it was really like, that's great. Now, could you learn to close it? Yeah, like it was just like you had to really push it to latch it, and like so the latch was just really like weak because it only half closed, so like it would just continuously wear down to the point where it just always kind of would half open unless you deadbolted it. So like the dogs would just like come running at the door and like just burst through it. Meow attention, basically. It's just the impressive part is that she screams. It's not like she'll just scream like this. It's not like she's like meow meow meow. It's like she's screaming loud enough that you guys hear her through a door. Like she can be at the other end of the house and scream and just be heard. And then as soon as I stand up and go out there, it's going to be like, oh, you're here, come feed me, right? Like, as though I've ever fed her the moment I've left this room. Like I explicitly make sure that, like, certain things I do every day aren't the things that I do right before feeding her. Stuff like I feed her a while after I wake up so that she doesn't try to wake me up. I feed her before bed. I feed her before I do things. I don't feed her after I do things. So it's like I feed her before I take my shower in the morning, that kind of thing. Or I like feed her before I go to bed, or I feed her before I stream, or, like before I go out to the store. That one's kind of after work, but I don't think she quite grasps that concept because it's like the laptop doesn't stay open or like get shut or anything specific. Like any time that I feed her near some other thing I do consistently, I feed her before that. So it's not like she gets like the sign of, oh, if he does this, he'll do it. If it doesn't bother you, do the same thing. Oh, she still bothers me though. That's the thing. It doesn't work. She still just screams constantly. Basically, like the only time she really doesn't is like from like noon, or basically like after breakfast until like 2 or 3. After that, she starts screaming for food as though she's ever gotten fed before 4. And the only time she gets fed before 4 is like after 4 and before 5 is like on Wednesdays when I go go-karting. After I do the robotic stuff, basically I'm gone from like 4 to like 11 at night. So obviously I'm gonna feed her before I go. I think she just wants the general attention. You would think that. But anytime you look in her direction and make eye contact with her when she's screaming like that, she happily trots off towards her bowl and then stops as close to her bowl as she can get where she can still look at you, turns around and looks. Like, like if I were to open the door right now, there's a small chance she'll come in here, hop on my lap. There's a good chance she'll come in here, walk around, smack all the cables under the desk to make a lot of noise, rub her tail under my legs, and then trot down the hall, sit there and wait for me to look at her. And that's what she'd do. Just trying to annoy you. I mean, she's trying to get me to give her food. She thinks she's being a communicator for food, right? And she is not. She's very much not. But it is what it is, right? Like, she's a cat. She's adorable. She's not trying to be like a jerk. She just is being a little bit of a jerk. Maybe she gets a little, she'll calm down. It's possible. It's possible. She's 3 in theory. Who knows what it actually is, but in theory she's 3. So yeah, hopefully as she ages, she gets a little bit quieter, but at the same time I know she might not. I think that's just on a cat by cat basis. I know Mel's cat is incredibly quiet all the time, to the point that they forget when he gets caged sometimes. Like, yeah, sometimes he just acts out, and like he's very quiet. He learned very early on that meowing did not get him anything. So he just doesn't. Like, at all. Like, you never hear him meow. The only time I ever heard him meow was, like, those first few times, right? Like, when I first saw him before he had been, like, fully crate trained. But yeah, he just doesn't do it at all. So yeah, it can be a situation where he ends up getting put in this crate because he was, like, a jerk to one of the other cats at her family's house. And, like, they'll just gonna be like, oh, he's still in there, like, 30 minutes later. Because it's like... he makes no noise. Hey, Shy, what's going on? This is the best day of your life. What's going on, man? Congrats to whatever it is. And also, again, thank you for all the likes on the stream, guys. We almost got to 20. It would have been awesome if we did. We did past 15, which is always our goal. Hit 101 subs. Nice. That's awesome, dude. Congrats. That's a big milestone. Or he is loud, but he's quiet whenever you're at your computer doing something or when he's in your bed. Only gets loud when there's a hole in his bowl. You can see the bottom. Yeah, Adele just eats a lot of food all at once. Like, the problem for Adele is that she doesn't really, like... She's gotten a little bit better about it. She used to not really, like, ration herself at all. She would just eat it all. When it was, as soon as it was put down, however much was in the bowl was gone. Like, that's how she would eat. That's changed a little bit. I think she had one time she ate too much too fast, and it upset her stomach, and it came back out. And she kind of calmed down after that a little bit, but it's still like 90% of the bowl is gone no matter what, and a few pieces are left over for her to munch on later. Also, guys, we're doing 2 more encounters here. Then I'm calling it once we hit 3,500. So here we go, guys. Final encounter is not shiny. So, alright, guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, I'll see you guys again on Thursday. Hopefully, we can find Drifloon on Thursday. 3,500 encounters and we still don't have it is insane, guys. But yeah, I'm going to hop off. I've got some things I need to do. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you guys again on Thursday. And until next time, take care.